Ep 1, Class 3 of Kunugigaoka Junior High School is the leftover bunch of misfits of the school. Their homeroom teacher is the creature that blew up 70% of the moon, turning it into a perpetual crescent, and plans to do the same to Earth in a year's time. The Japanese government tasked them with assassinating their teacher before that happened, with a reward of 10 billion yen on the line. Class 3E is nervously awaiting the arrival of their homeroom teacher, Koro-sensei. He has the appearance of a yellow octopus. He is about 3 meters tall and possessed a large, bulbous head with tentacles. He is currently flying to school at top speed. Soon, he lands in front of the school building and makes his way to class. Once there, he sets the roll book on his desk and calls for homeroom to begin, telling the student who was on welcome duty to call the command. Nagisa calls it and everyone stands ready with their firearms and begins to fire when he yells "Bo." Koro-sensei dodges the bullets and begins taking roll. After the roll call is finished and the students are worn out, Koro-sensei expresses his happiness as there are no absences. The students begin complaining about how he's too fast and that shooting at him all at once doesn't work. Koro-sensei comments on how a single bullet didn't hit the mark and that a strategy that relies solely on numbers lacks individual thought, and that the students need to be more creative or else they'll never be able to kill him at his maximum speed of Mach 20. The students start complaining, saying that the bullets are just BB pellets and that there was no way he dodged them seriously. Koro-sensei shows that the BBs do in fact harm him even though they're harmless to humans and that they were developed by the government to specifically kill him. The class has begun, and Koro-sensei is in the middle of the English lesson. While continuing, Keano whispers over to Nagisa and shows him the crescent moon outside the window. This prompts Nagisa to wonder and think back as to how he and the rest of class ended up in this situation, noting that two things happened at the beginning of their third year. The first thing was the moon suddenly exploding into a crescent. The second thing was the creature who destroyed the moon appearing in Class 3, declaring that he'll do the same to Earth in a year's time, stating that he's now their homeroom teacher. A man from the Japanese Ministry of Defense then introduces himself as Karasuma. He tells the class to understand that what he was about to tell him was a top government secret. He's blunt and tells the students that he wants them to kill that creature, and that they have to kill him in secret. In other words, an assassination. Koro-sensei states that just destroying the Earth isn't fun. So, he made a deal with the government, no killing him, and instead, he'll teach Kunugigaoka's Class 3E. They agreed on the condition that he doesn't harm any of the students and that there were two reasons. First, if the creature comes to the classroom every day, the government can monitor and know his location most days. The second was that it gives 30 people the means and incentive to kill him from an extremely close range. The flashback ends as Nakamura tries to shoot Koro-sensei. Koro-sensei scolds her and tells her to not let assassination interfere with her studies and tells her to go back. Nagisa begins thinking back again with unanimous questions from the class, such as how were they supposed to kill the creature when the government couldn't. In the flashback, Karasuma tells the class that they must find an opening in his defenses and strike at it. They will be supplied with weapons and ammo that won't harm humans but will harm the creature. He also tells them that they must keep this a secret from their friends and family, and that there's no time to lose. The creature then tells the class to let's make the most of their remaining year. The flashback ends once more with Nagisa noting that they only have 1 year, and that if they don't manage to assassinate their teacher, the Earth will be destroyed. In the present, class continue and student try to assassinate him again. He first scolds them for putting their well-being in danger, and threaten them, but then praise their technique. Nagisa notes that being chewed out at Mach 20 and then praised with waving tentacles, this unusual education is growing on him. Keano begins thinking about how their teacher is unkillable, prompting the name Koro-sensei, with Nagisa stating that it's them and Koro-sensei in their assassination classroom. Ep 2, one day before school, Koro-sensei is reading a newspaper from Hawaii about the moon. He notes that has been all anyone has talked about. Behind a bush, Sugino and Shiota have prepared an assassination attempt, with Sugino using Nagisa's notes and then throwing a baseball imprinted with anti-sensei BBs at Koro-sensei's head. However, though Koro-sensei notes its creativeness and stealth, it gives him enough time to go to the sports shed and catch it with a glove. He warns them that graduation will be here before they know it and tells them to go to class. During class, Nagisa tells Keano about it, while Sugino appears to still be dismayed. Karasuma appears and asks the class if they have made progress. The class complains about the difficulty, but Karasuma refuses to hear it out. This leaves Nagisa confused. The next day during lunch, Sugino goes outside to eat but puts his food down. Koro-sensei then comes and gives him the ball back. He asks if Sugino is on a team, but he says that, since they are an E class, they can't participate in sports, and when used to be on the team, he never struck anyone out. Koro-sensei finds this to be discrimination and asks if he can give Sugino advice. He explains that Sugino should instead work on becoming more flexible than the pitcher and developing his own style. Sugino is immediately cheered up by this. When Koro-sensei goes inside, Nagisa follows him and asks why he would go so far. Briefly thinking about the flashback, he is in a decimated building, holding a bleeding woman and telling him that she wants him to teach the children. With those incredible tentacles of his, he'll surely be an excellent teacher. Koro-sensei says that he is just here because of a promise. Over in another building outside of the forest, Karasuma meets with the school's principal, where the main school is. It is revealed that Karasuma will become the new PE teacher, hoping to teach the students proper assassination tactics, and believes it has more benefits since it is the perfect assassination spot. As Karasuma heads to the old campus, he meets with Kayano, who tells him that Koro-sensei, as additional apologies for destroying the students' tulips, has allowed the students to tie him up, hang him from a tree branch, and repeatedly shoot and stab at him. At the same time, he dodges at a reduced speed. The students come close to hitting him but still have no luck. Despite this turn of events, the students immediately seem undeterred and are even joking about it. This puzzles Karasuma since the system has pretty much given up on them, yet they are so happy. Meanwhile, in the Ministry of Defense, a young boy is in the middle of suspension. He will have to join E-class, so the government fills him in on everything that is going on. This student, Karma Akabane, does not seem to mind murdering a teacher or anyone else. Ep 3, Karma Akabane transfers into Class 3 following a suspension. As he gets to the class, he manages to inflict some damage to Koro-sensei by giving a handshake with knife shards that were cleverly taped to his hand. Throughout the day, Karma continues to pull many pranks on Koro-sensei. While the students later take a quiz, Karma steals Koro-sensei's special gelato to get his attention, shooting him with an unloaded gun to catch him off guard. After hearing from Nagisa that Koro-sensei worships the octopus, Karma leaves a dead octopus on Koro-sensei's desk. However, Koro-sensei cooks it into takoyaki to ridicule Karma. Throughout the day, Koro-sensei manages to anticipate every prank Karma tries to pull. As a last resort, Karma jumps off a cliff with a gun in hand, which would determine if Koro-sensei would risk his life for a student or would destroy his pride as a teacher. However, Koro-sensei comes up with a plan and manages to save Karma using his tentacles like a giant spiderweb, leading Karma to accept Koro-sensei as a teacher. Ep 4, a disguised Koro-sensei finishes his shopping at a market store when he sees a group of men harassing an attractive female foreigner. He easily disposes of the men, and the female thanks him and asks for directions to Kunugigaoka Junior High. In Class 3, Karasuma introduces the female to be their new English teacher, Irina Jelavic. The class immediately sees that Koro-sensei is attracted to her. She looks to be attracted to him as well. Throughout the day, she keeps coming up to him with various requests. During lunchtime, she gets him to travel to Vietnam for coffee. Irina drops her act to the students and displays her confidence in killing Koro-sensei. Her attitude, however, puts off the class, Karma even going so far as to call her Ms. Jella Bitch. Irina then sees Nagisa and kisses him, demanding to know all the weaknesses he has noted down. The class's first lesson with Irina is spent with the students looking at Irina while she plans for the assassination. From Nagisa's notes, one of Koro-sensei's abilities is his knack smell, able to smell sweets from afar. The class asks her to teach. Fed up with being called Jelabit, she teaches them how to pronounce the letter V for the entire lesson. The next day, Koro-sensei returns, and Irina asks him to come to the storage shed for a private moment. Both the class and Karasuma watch on. Irina lures him inside the shed and hides behind a curtain while Koro-sensei is fired upon with various light machine guns. Coming out of her hiding spot, she is surprised to find her henchmen unconscious and Koro-sensei completely unharmed. He realized early on that Irina was setting a trap, and Koro-sensei pretended to have fallen for her. Back in class, a humiliated Irina plans to get revenge. They ask her to teach them, but she lashes out at them. The class riots against her bitchiness as a result, and a shocked Irina vows to kill them all. In the staff room, Irina complains to Karasuma that she is an assassin, not a teacher. Karasuma takes her to Koro-sensei, sitting down and preparing individual tests for each student. Later on, Irina walks back into the classroom and apologizes to the class. At this, the class laughs, seeing how Irina completely turned around, having earlier vowed to kill them. In return, outside the classroom, Koro-sensei believes that Irina will fit right in with the assassination classroom. Karasuma notes. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.